الله لا إله إلا هو له الأسماء الحسنى.
بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه وبالوالدين إحسانا إما يبلغن عندك الكبر أحدهما أو كلاهما فلا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما واخفض لهما جناح الذل من الرحمة كما ربياني صغيرا ربكم أعلم بما في نفوسكم إن تكونوا صالحين فإنه كان للأوابين غفورا. Without any introduction, my dear brothers and sisters who are listening to my speech, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. I read some ayats from Surah Al-Isra. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ قَضَى يَقْضِي means this is the order and the faisla of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mufassirin says, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered and decreed أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ, that the only being that you and us are supposed to worship is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. That's one of the first hukum in these ayat. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. The only being that has to be worshipped is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We prostrate a sajda, ibadatan wa ta'zeeman is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When I say ibadatan, it means when we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or any, that sajda, that prostration, the head is supposed to bow down just for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to for ibadat and worship, and also as ta'zeeman, respect to. This head, forehead, is only to bow down and prostrate in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for ta'zeeman, respect to. Not as any other human being. Not even for your parents. You know, this is not my topic, I just want to indicate that Sahaba Ikram Ridwanullahi Ajma'een used to go out for tijara to other countries, for business reasons to other countries. They came back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you are Sayyidul Qawnain. You are the leader, chief of this worldly life and the hereafter too. And we see other emperors, other kings, the people bow down and do sajda in front of them. Could you grant us to do sajda and bow down in front of you, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said no. If anyone was allowed to prostrate and do sajda, a wife would be allowed to do sajda and prostrate in front of their husband. No. No one's allowed to prostrate or do sajda or bow down in front of anyone except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not even any grave, not any human being, not your parents, not even your wife, not your husband, no nothing. Yeah, exactly. That is Allah ta'budu illa iya. Number 2, wabil walidain ihsana. This is my topic today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in many other places too, that show good manners and good respect, good obedience to your parents. This is very necessary. Wabil walidaini ihsana. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that these ayat means وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ إِحْسَانًا وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ حُسْنًا. All these ayats I indicated disobedience has to be done to any parent, either they mushrik or kafir or whoever they are. You know, the Sahaba Ikram Ridwanullah Ajma'een, majority of their parents were kafir, non-believers. They used to come and complain to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said no. That whatever your parents say, you have to be obedient to them, even if they're mushrik, mushrika, kafir. Obedience is different. Respect is different. This is what Quran says, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَقَضَىٰ رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا إِمَّا يَبْلُغَنَّ عِندَكَ الْكِبَرِ أَحَدُهُمَا أَوْ كِلَاهُمَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if your parents reach to the old age, indaka, there by you. Now, I don't want to go in a technical thing, but this is indaka is zarf. It's muqaddam over here. It should be late. It should be not in that place. It should be afterward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is indicating to us, Mufassirin has written, I'm not saying this for myself, Ruhulmani has written, Allah Malusi rahmatullahi writes that indaka is indicated that this is a privilege for you. This is a ni'mat for you, ikram for you, that you have the tawfiq and ability, and you have the chance to do khidmat for your parents. Indaka al-kibar, if they reach by you to their old age, ahaduma or kilahuma, one of them or both of them, your both parents, mother, father, both alive, or just father or just mother alive, you have got the privilege and they're by you. Now, فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفْ, don't even say uff to them. Hassan rahmatullah alayhi, or Hassan radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word uff over here. Like we say uff. Yeah? And he said this is a very powerful word. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had any lesser word than this, alright, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was used that, but there was no other word to describe and show our emotions. Uff really means, Mufassirin writes, you know, you have male kutel, you have dirt on your nails and your fingers. That's what it means. So it means don't even say a small kind of thing that will hurt your parents. That's what it means. Dalalatul nas over here, uffin means don't even say a small kind of thing which will hurt them. First say, uff, don't even say that. Wala tanharuma, and do not tell them off when you reach, you know, when we reach old age, anyone's gonna reach, then they will say funny kind of things. Chichirapan paida ho jate. So don't even tell them off. Wala tanharuma. Mufassirin writes under this is wala tukadhibuhuma. Do not deny them, do not bluff them. Do not say, oh no, we're not gonna do this. Whatever they say they want you to do, do that. وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا, and when you speak to them with respect. Under this ayat, Mufassirin writes that when you speak to them, when they call you, say لَبَّيْكُمَا وَسَعْدَيْكُمَا. This is the word they write. وَقُلْ لَهُمَا لَبَّيْكُمَا وَسَعْدَيْكُمَا. I'm here, whatever you say, and make dua for them. Like in our language, you say, Ji. Alright? وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. It means respect them. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam was asked, how do we respect our parents? Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, when you walk with them, walk behind them. Yani unki piche chalna. You know, this is adab. We have these adab in our Muslim countries. And we forget everything. When we walk with them, we walk behind them. Unless they need any kind of help, that's a different thing. Behind them. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, never mention their name, never call them through the name. Meaning, whenever you call them, oh, Ya Abatahu, Ya Ammahu. These are very respectful words in Arabic. It means, Mere Pyari Ammi, Mere Pyara Abba, my beautiful, my beloved father, my beloved mother. This is what we call them like that. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying. And never swear at someone else's parents. Why? Because if you're going to swear at someone else's parents, they're going to swear at your parents. So these are the adab Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us. Sahaba had these adabs. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once said to someone, once mentioned, do not swear to your parents. Do not curse your parents. The Sahaba could not understand. You know, in that time of Khair al-Qurun, they never understood this. Said, who can swear to the parents? So Rasulullah made them understand that if you swear to someone's parents, they're going to swear to your parents. But nowadays, in the era we are in, they swear to the parents. The people come and say they swear to the parents for their own benefit. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَخْفِضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ وَقُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, lower your mercy wings. This is called isti'ara. It means, it's giving you example just like a bird. When it sees that my chicks and my babies are in harm, he covers them with what? With the wings. Cover your parents like that. Make sure no harm reach them. And they're always in respect. And make this dua, وَقُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. This dua, what does it mean? Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, irhamhuma. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set mercy on them. And Mufassirin write under this ayat, set mercy on them and Rabbihuma. It means set mercy on them and cherish them. Just like they set mercy on me and cherished me when I was young. This ayat means, this dua means, Rabbirhamuma kama rabbayani saghira. You know, technically it means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set mercy on them and cherish them. Just like they cherish me and what? They set mercy on me. This ayat means that when we, technically what it means, that when we were young, our parents, they cleaned us. Whenever we were dirty, they cleaned us. We went from number one, they cleaned us with love. They grew us from nothing, from age 0 to whatever we are now, 50 or 60 or 40 or 30 or 80 or 90. Yeah? Just like that, Ya Allah, give us tawfiq and ability to be mercy on them and cherish them just like they done when we were young. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam makes this dua, Rabbi awzi'ni an ashkura ni'mataka allati. He said, oh Allah, give me tawfiq and ability to do the shukr of my parents. Give me tawfiq. This is the dua we should be reading. That it's because of the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A person, Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala narrates that a person was carrying his mother on his shoulder and doing tawaf around the Kaaba. And also he narrates Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has seen someone like that too. Anyway, narrated mostly about Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala. So the person turned around and seen Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala and said, Ya ibn Umar, oh Abdullah ibn Umar, have I fulfilled the rights of my mother? She's on my shoulder. I'm carrying her and doing tawaf. Have I fulfilled the right? Abdullah ibn Umar said, no. You know the scream she made at the time of your birth, you haven't even fulfilled that right. वो चीख बच्चे जन्नत के वक्त जो माँ मारती है उसके भी हक अदा नहीं किया. So we cannot fulfill the rights of our parents. A person came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, I got problems with my father. He's given all his wealth away. मेरे वालिद सारे माल दे रहे. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam called his father. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam called his father, this is a long story, but I'm shortening. The father was coming, Jibreel Amin comes from up there and said to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that ask the person who's coming, the father who's coming, what came in his heart. What was in his heart that no one knows. His ears have not heard yet, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what he said. So when the person came, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, what's the problem? He said, I'm giving the wealth to my children, to my cousins, my sisters and all that. So I'm not wasting the wealth. Wherever Sila Rahmi is needed, I'm doing that. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that, what was in your heart that your ears had not even heard? He said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I believe in you, you're the last prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but not even more now because the only person that knows this is me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he read some ash'ar poets. And in the poem, the conclusion of the poem is that, oh my son, I raised you. When you call me at night, I woke up for you. I cherish you. Now for wealth, you're saying that you're upset because of wealth? Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Anta wa maluka li abika. You, your body, and your wealth is everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it doesn't belong to you. So it's up to the parents how they want to spend your wealth, how they want to deal with you. So this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. I want to say a few more hadiths, but I'm running out of time. This dua, Rabbir Hamuma Kama Rabbayani Saghira. This dua, some ulama say that it's farz on everyone to say that all the time. But ulama say once in your life you have to say this. Rabbir Hamhuma, at least say now. Rabbir Hamhuma Kama Rabbayani Saghira. Once in our life we have to say this. This is a haqq. Allah says Qul. Qul means say it. So it's wajib farz on us to say once in our life, at least for our parents and ourselves. Sufyan radiyallahu rahmatullah alayhi was asked that how do we fulfill this, the right of this dua, Rabbil Hamuma. He said, read this in the 5 salats. You know, when we read tashahud, in tashahud we read at-tahiyyat. Then we read salutation on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After that we read du'as. So normally we read Rabbana atina fid dunya, or we read Allahumma inni zalamtu nafsi, and then we read other du'as. So ulama Sufyan rahmatullah said we should read Rabbi Rahamuma Kama Rabbayani Saghira in tashahud too, after du'as. And also, ulama read this dua, Rabbi Ja'alni Muqima Salati wa min dhurriyyati, Rabbana wa taqabbal dua. Rabbana filli wa li walidayya wa lil mu'minina yawma yaqumul hisab. Parents has that much right to make dua for them. Hadith is saying, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, that normally when we commit any kind of sin we do, the rule regulation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will either forgive you or either punish you in a hereafter or sometime in the dunya too. But one sin is such, uququl walidain, that those people who are disobedient to their parents, once they are disobedient to the parent, they will get that punishment in this worldly life. This is the saying of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we are disobedient to our parents, no matter whatever we do, whatever sajdas we do, whatever rukus we do, whatever time we spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we have no obedience to our parents, we will get punished in this worldly life. Our children will disobey us even worse. And there's such more examples of that. At the end, what I want to say is The parents have rights. When they are alive, we obey them, whatever they say, as long as it is in the boundary of Shariah. We respect them. If they need any kind of help, we do that and remember what we do. You know, one person came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that I'm doing a lot of khidmat service for my mum and dad. So have I fulfilled the rights? You know what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ajib. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when your parents were nourishing you, cherishing you, and respecting you and khidmat, they were doing out of muhabbat, so you grow up. So you grow up. You are cherishing them and doing khidmat, so they die. It means that you are doing out of your will or not out of your will, but they were doing, or they went out of the way and doing out of muhabbat. That khidmat that they've done for us when we are young, if we do it now, it's not the same. That's what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says. So our parents have rights. If they're alive, we do khidmat and make dua for them. If they're passed away, we make dua for them and do istighfar for them, and whatever sins they do, we may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive them. Give sadaqat for them. Make dua for them. Read Quran for them. Whatever dua you do, that will be less. And then you will come out to the uquq from bar. So we have to, and if they have died, ulama has written their haqq is that every week we visit their grave. And if we visit their grave every week, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Ghafar Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive that person. There's so many things to say, but we have to fulfill the rights. I was saying when they're collected, that remember, parents, for our own needs, alright, we should not show them our problems. No, things hurt them. If we are going through problems and they have reached to the age, we should not mention any kind of problem. We got another problem. We have our own problems. We put all our problems in front of the parents that they have to go through all the grief. This is not allowed. This is against Sharia. For our own benefit. Some people will do that so we can get money out of them. This is not allowed. To this extent, I would say that if we spend any money, our parents or anywhere, and we know that our parents mind us spending money or extra money, we should not mention how much we bought this. We don't have to lie, because that hurts them, because they earned it very hard. We should not mention these things. We don't have to lie. So respect for your parents, this is very necessary. We have to teach our children. And if we have any parents alive, we treat our parents such that children learn that this is how we should be treating our parents.
الله لا